So my name is GMcGovern, and I researched restricted reproduction in China, and I particularly focused on the former one-child policy. So the question that I'm answering is, do China's reproduction restricting policies impact the nation in a negative or positive way? So China, as the world's most populous country, has taken great steps to reduce the rate of internal population growth. In accordance with sustainable practices and an increasing inability to maintain the country's surging population, Chairman Mao Zedong enacted the one-child policy, which limited each family unit to one child in 1979. In 2015, the government revised the policy to allow each family one child, or two children, sorry. So when the policy was implemented in 1979, it seemed like it could be a really, really good thing for the environment. Overpopulation was and still is a major threat, and the world's most populous country restricting population growth mitigated the crisis. However, domestic and foreign opinion about the policy has steeply turned negative since the one-child policy was implemented 40 years ago. My first lens is economic, and this chart shows China's change in age makeup over 150 years, starting right before the one-child policy was implemented. Because baby boomers make up a much larger portion of the population than Generation Y, China's working age population dropped for the first time ever in 2012. It is expected to decrease even more over the next 90 years. So, before the implementation of the one-child policy, rampant Chinese production conduced one of the world's strongest economies by building a pool of surplus labor. Now that China's overflowing pool of labor is diminishing, the country's economy can no longer flourish the way that it has for the past 40 years. Yi Fushan, a researcher at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, notes that the one-child policy expedited China's lowest turning point, which is the point in time in which a nation's rural labor pool is depleted and wages increase steeply. Since China hit its lowest turning point in 2012, it will not be able to meet the productivity gains of the last 25 years. According to Yi, China must get old before it gets rich. This means that the country's economy will not see prosperity until the current downsized workforce is replaced by the next generation. The one-child policy brought financial ruin to families starting at its implementation. $2 trillion was taken in fines from the policy's beginning to its end, and the average fine was 3 times the family's household income plus additional dues until the child turns 18. Fines for third children and beyond are much higher. So Kai is a 35-year-old woman from Fushan who gave birth to her second and third child a few years before the one-child policy became the two-child policy. When she gave birth to her second child, she and her husband had to take out a loan to pay the initial $7,000 fine. When her third child was born soon after, Kai and her husband were too far in debt to take out a second loan to pay the initial $12,000 fine. They had to sell their clothing store, which was their only source of revenue. Now their debt has compounded, and Kai's family can no longer afford the simple luxuries that they enjoyed before their second child. So I also evaluated gender imbalance as a result of the one-child policy, and since long before 1979, Chinese culture has viewed males as the superior sex. Sons inherit the family name, they maintain family property, and they take care of their elderly parents. So when the one-child policy was enacted, Chinese couples went to great lengths to ensure that their one-child child was not wasted by the birth of a baby girl. In the years following the policy's implementation, female infanticide and abandonment of baby girls skyrocketed. When ultrasound sex determination became available in the late 1980s, the number of aborted female fetuses rose dramatically. Because of the policy, China now has 100 girls for every 120 boys. So, for the past 40 years, women pregnant with their second and third children have been subjected to forced sterilization and abortion at the hands of the Chinese government. Fei Zhongmei, a woman from rural China, shared her story about forced abortion to raise awareness about the issue. In 2012, the authorities discovered that she was carrying a second child and offered her 2 options: pay an annual fine of $5,000 or abort the baby immediately. Feng wished to keep her baby, but her husband made only $630 a month working at the hydroelectric power station. Committing to such a high annual fine would mean financial ruin for her family. When Fang declared to the government officials that she would not be able to pay the fine, they tried to force her into a car. She managed to escape her aunt's house, but it was not long before officials found her and injected a pregnancy-ending drug into her stomach. She delivered her dead baby girl less than 30 hours later. As Fang's husband said, "I have no money to pay the fine, but that does not mean we should suffer the grief of losing a child." So the policy actually has been successful in reducing overpopulation and carbon waste, which is very valuable. 400 million births have been prevented by the one-child policy, which saves 1.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide annually. But it does not compensate for gross human rights abuses and economic losses. So China already did change the policy to allow each family 2 children in 2015, so while it's 100% better than it was in 1979, there's still a long way to go. The same horrible things that happened under the one-child policy are still happening under the two-child policy. This is something that a Chinese blogger said in 2015, as soon as the policy was revised. So he said, "As I believe, in my lifetime, I don't have to witness the disappearance of words like brother, sister, aunt, and uncle from the Chinese language." Policies that restrict reproduction in China won't be rectified until large groups of people demand change. These groups must organize and protest, but the ordinary Chinese citizen cannot do so because of the heavy restrictions on freedom of expression. Action must be taken by powerful foreign leaders in order for the Chinese government to terminate the policies burdening Chinese families and stunting economic growth. The end of reproduction restricting policies in China will restore the nation's hope for economic prosperity and personal liberty. These are my sources.
Thank you, Gracie. Gracie, how valid and reliable are the sources you used, and how do you know?
I used really reliable sources. Most of the ones that I used were written by, so I used a lot of sources that came directly from the United Nations and the World Bank, and then I also used sources from really distinguished journals such as The Economist, BBC. I used sources from Britannica, and a lot of these were written by correspondents whose main job is